Hey guys, so today's video is gonna be a bit different from what I've been posting all week so far. It's not video game related at all. It's actually kind of creepy and spooky, so yeah. Without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So, I'm just going to start this story time out with a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not doing this strictly for views or anything like that. I'm not another one of those YouTubers who are like, my house is haunted, or like, I live with spirits, or spirits are my life. Like, girl, the stuff I'm about to say and the stuff I'm about to explain actually happened. These things are either things that I remember vividly, my parents have told me, that have me messed up. So, we're gonna start this out. We're gonna rewind, we're gonna go back to my childhood before we moved. I was living in Guelph, Ontario, and keep in mind I'm under the age of 7 because when we moved I was 7. So, I was really, really young. And we had just moved into like these newly built houses, and they're called semi-detached. And if you don't know what a semi-detached house is, it's essentially like a building that's like, it's like a house with just like a wall cut down the middle, and then they just mirrored what's on this side, and called it like a semi-detached house. So like a family can live on this side of the house, and another family can live on this side of the house, and it's way less work. Like, you don't have to build 2 separate houses, you just build one and put like 2 kitchens and 2 living rooms and 2 dining rooms and just cut it in the middle. So, we lived in this semi-detached house, and okay, our neighbors who moved in with us, we were really, really close with them because I was the same age as their son, and my older brother was almost the same age as their oldest daughter. So, I mean, we hung out a lot, and I mean, we essentially lived in the same house, and our backyard was shared, right? So we hung out a lot, and we were really, really close. So that'll tie in a little bit later. So we were living there for a while, and my mom noticed that I had started talking to something. Now, that sounds really, really, like, vague and weird, like, paranormal activity, burn the kid, get rid of them. But, I'm here, no one burned me yet. So, no, I started, like, talking to something, and it was a little boy. And, I mean, I named him Ghosty. That was the name I gave him. He had some sort of other name, people knew, whatever. But I named him Ghosty. I was really great at naming things. Like, I had a hamster, and I named him Hamsty, right? Like, Hamsty, Ghosty. I mean, we did have bunnies, but none of them got named Bunny, because apparently Jordan wasn't allowed to name bunnies. Because what would I name it? Bunny? So, anyway, I named him Ghosty, and so, I remember hanging out with Ghosty. Like, I vividly remember, like, hanging out in my closet with Ghosty, because at the time, I had, like, a really big closet, and I had this giant wooden container that held all my Barbies in, because I was like, Barbie is my life. So I had like a ton of Barbies in there. And so it held all my Barbies in it, and it was in my closet, so I just played in my closet. And so me and Ghosty would hang out inside the closet and play. And that was like my life. It was good. It was good. Right? So that was like my thing. I don't really remember much after that, but I do remember always hearing, like, if I had to go downstairs to have like lunch or breakfast or something, I remember hearing Ghosty running up and down the hallway upstairs. Like, honest to God, like, I can still hear the footsteps of him running up and down the hallway. Like, it wasn't like la-di-da, like running, like it sounded like terror running. Like, I gotta get the fudge out of here now, right? Like, he would just booking it up and down the hallway, and there were loud thuds too. Like, almost like there was 2 people up there. I don't know. I'm not willing to, like, talk about that, because that messes me up. Because, like, I got theories as to why the boy's there, but, like, I don't think I want to say that out loud because like it's upsetting. So that was that. But the weirdest part was when my father would come home. So, I mean, my dad, he's like super sweet guy. He's just like this giant cuddly bear. Like, he's just so nice. I love him so much. And when he would come home, the little boy would disappear. He was gone. He stopped making noises. He stopped moving things. He stopped everything. Like, he was gone. Like, he was hiding. He was terrified. Like, he was out of there. Like, bye Felicia, I'm out. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, so, this part, like, with the whole, like, my dad would come home and he would disappear, I don't recall that because, I mean, I was really young. I just remember hanging out with Ghosty. But me and my mom were talking a little while back, like about a month ago, about, living there, because, I mean, Ontario's life. But, so we were talking about that, and yeah, anytime my father would come home, everything went silent in the house. And my mom said it was extremely eerie and, like, uncomfortable how quiet it went. And so, this is the part that messes me up. Oh my god. My dad, he would always go to bed a bit earlier. I mean, well, not really a bit earlier, but he would just go to bed. Because, I mean, he has work in the morning, right? So he would go to bed, and my mom always, like, staying up. She's a night owl, so she'd stay up till, like, at that time, I think it was, like, 11, 12 was her latest. Like, that was her life staying up, right? Because that was her solo time. She didn't have to deal with the kids or, like, talk to her husband. She could just deal with her. And every night, she would come upstairs and grab, like, she would go in her bedroom, and the door would be locked. Honest to God, every night. Her door was locked. And so she kept, like, yelling at my father, like, what the hell? Stop locking the door. Stop locking me out of the bedroom. Like, could you not? And he was like, I'm not locking the door. Like, I swear to God, I am not locking the door. And so she was like, whatever, right? And so the one night, it, like, happened. Like, the door was locked. And he gets up, unlocks it, and she's like, stop locking the door. And she was kind of pissed off that time. And so she takes the top of the door and just slams it shut. And as she, like, slammed it shut, she realized she forgot to turn off the light in the hallway. Because, I mean, she just was like, you forgot, right? So she, like, forgot the light in the hallway. So she goes and grabs the handle. And swear to God, the door was locked. And she was wrecked because she didn't grab the handle. Right? Like, she was, like, trying to explain it. She's like, maybe it's because, like, I grabbed the handle or something. But she grabbed the door from the top and shut it like this. Right? Like, she just kind of, like, swang it shut instead of grabbing the handle and shutting it. Otherwise, like, she could have possibly gotten it locked somehow. But she, like, hit it from the top. And it locked, and it messed her up. Like, she was like, oh, hell no. I am out. I am out, girl. No. So that had my mom wrecked. And, like, I never knew that had happened until she told me that. And that's why she was, like, really messed up with the house. But, okay, here's when the neighbors come in. So, like I said, the neighbor's son was about the same age as me. And my mom was talking to his father the one day about, like, the whole ghost thing, kind of like, right? And he was very skeptical. He's like, ghosts don't exist. Like, they don't exist. Like, it's impossible. That, like, it just didn't, like, blend in his head. Like, it just wouldn't work. And so, but the one day, he was downstairs, and he saw Tyler go up the stairs, right? And so he was like, Tyler! And Tyler didn't respond as he went up the stairs. And so he followed his son up the stairs, and when he got up the stairs, his son was not up there. His son was not upstairs at all. And, like, that messes me up because, like, he called after him. Like, he walked up the stairs and called after him, like, Tyler, Tyler, and it wasn't even his son. And it, like, messed him up because I think after that, Tyler came up the stairs and he's like, what do you want, Dad? And then he was like, like, girl? How'd you get down there? Oh my God, no, bye Felicia, I'm out. Like, girl, no. Like, that wrecks me. Like, that is some paranormal activity stuff right there. Like, get out of the house. Burn it. I'm done. So, like, that wrecks me. Like, the fact that that happened, he was like, oh, whatever, we'll just keep living here. Like, girl, to move across the country. Look at what I did. I moved across the country. I don't do that stuff. I'm not about that life. Like, girl, no, thank you. So the moral of that part of the story is I definitely had experiences with spirits and ghosts because I was the only one that talked with the apparition that I named Ghosty. So I was the only one that, like, talked to Ghosty and, like, had a whole life with Ghosty. Oh, one part I forgot to mention was, I mean, this one's kind of like whatever, because, like, all kids are scared of the closet. But, I mean, I used to, like, live in the closet, and, okay, as a child, I could sleep anywhere. Like, I would sleep on the floor under my bed. Like, I'd be like, oh, I need to take a nap, sleeps under my bed. Or, like, I would sleep under the stairs, in the basement, under the stairs, well, not under the stairs, but, yeah, like, under the stairs in the basement, like, I slept inside of, like, I would take all the, Tupperware out of our Tupperware drawer, I would sleep in the Tupperware drawer. That was where my life was. I was sleeping in the Tupperware drawer. And so, like, I could sleep anywhere. But, so, like, that kind of ties in with this, but not really. So, every night, before I go to bed, like, I have to get my mom to shut the door. Like, my closet door. Because, I don't know, for some reason, I was terrified of the closet. And my mom said, I think she said, that at one point I had said that Ghosty lives in the attic. And that's where he comes out of. In the closet. He comes out of the attic through there. And, so I think that's why I was afraid of that. And so, like, along with this whole, like, ghosty spirit thing, it wasn't just, like, my house. Like, our block, like, we were really tightly, like, because, like, this, you gotta think, this was, like, a new building settlement. So, all the houses, like, really, really, like, cookie cutter and, like, really, really close. And all the houses on my block were experiencing the same stuff from, like, I think the same ghost or something. So, like, got me messed up. But I was terrified of the closet. I just thought I had to put that in there. But anyway, so now we're gonna fast forward to when I was 7 and we moved to Alberta. And so we moved to Alberta and we saw the house, and the house is really, really, like, run down. So we had to live with my aunt and uncle for a bit so we could fix it up. And then so once it was a bit fixed up so we could start living in it and stop, like, mooching off my uncle, we moved in. And I vividly remember this. Okay, this is probably the most messed up thing I've ever, like, seen in my life. Because it messes me up still. Like, I can still see them standing there. So, I remember, because I lived in the same room as my little sister. And at the time, she wasn't even a year old. Because we moved when she was, like, 3 months old. So, so she was just, like, a little baby. And so, our room was, like, really, really long. So, like, she lived on, like, this wall. Like, her bed was on this wall and my bed was on this wall. And I remember waking up, like, in the middle of the night, rolling over and looking over towards Sydney. And, I mean, like, her bed wasn't in the corner at that time. But I remember looking in the corner by her, like, on that wall. And I remember seeing, like, a whole family. Like, you know those old photos of families where, like, it's, like, a bit rustic and, like they're kind of staged. Like, the taller one's in the back, and then you have, like, your shorter ones, like, sitting in the front, like, kind of like whatever, because they're kids. Yeah, like, that's what I saw. And it, honest to God, looked like a hologram or something. Like, it had me so messed up. Because I was like, what? Who? What are you? Girl, no, like, I was not about that life, like, no thank you, because I hadn't really seen any ghosts since then, and I wasn't really on, like, a ghost kick. I was, like, kind of whatever, but then I was like, what? It's like, that messed me up. But I hadn't, like, after that, like, I hadn't really had any problems with any of the spirits in the house. Like, the spirits in the house feel very calm and collected and very nice and just kind of welcoming. And so I was kind of like, whatever, like, the house doesn't give off a bad vibe. So I was like, whatever, I don't really care. And I was like 7, so I was like, I don't care. It's a new house, it's trash. There's like a boy around the same age as me that lives right beside me. He's kind of crazy. Gonna hang out with him. I don't care. Right? So like, that was my priorities. Cause like I was going to new school too. I was like, girl, there better be some cute guys. Like, life. Not really. I was like, what am I gonna have for dinner? But that's not the point. So like, I didn't really care about any of that. And then, a while later, after we had like finished the house, like after our first like big finish, the original owner of the house, like the guy who made the house, because our house is a log house and it was moved from a farm into where we live now, and the original owner's son came in, because like it's not that old, yeah, because it was in their like family line. I think it might have been his grandson, but he came in and he was like, he wanted to look through the house, and he had photos of the house like from when it was like first built, so we were like sick. And he walked to the house and he was explaining the history of the house and like saying things about the house. And the original owner of the house, he hung himself in our house. And that has me so wrecked. Like, because everyone's all like, oh, like, people who go in like a violent way, like, usually come back and kill everyone. And I'm like, But then I was like, but he's like the spiritualness of the house feels very inviting. And I was like, I'll be fine. It'll be okay. And he also said that a little girl died in the house, like a baby died in their kitchen. Like where our kitchen is now, passed away there. And I was just like, but, yeah, that has me messed up. So, like, all of that went down, and that has me wrecked. Like, no, thank you. Bye, Felicia. So, like, we found out about all this stuff, and I was like, whatever. And then about, like, cause that was whatever, but then, and then about 6 or 7 years ago, like, I don't know, like, in relation of when we got all that information, but about 6 or 7 years ago, I think, we came home, and so we had, like, the chandelier in the kitchen, and it was, like, really, really heavy, but it was, like, it had, like, weird little hooks, like, it went from the chandelier and, like, hooked like this onto, like, the frame, right, so, like, if you unhooked it, it would, like, fall, right, but it had, like, I think 6 or 7 hooks around it. We came home, and something or someone had unhooked all of them but one. And it was just hanging over the kitchen table. And we were, like, freaked out. And, like, at the time, my mom was like, oh, we didn't lock the door, so maybe someone came in the house. But nothing was stolen. Nothing got taken at all. So, like, it didn't make any sense. Like, because from the outside of the house, I mean, it looks like trash, but we had just finished the inside of the house, and we kind of have expensive taste, so we have a lot of expensive stuff in the house. And not, like, big, heavy things, but, like, little things that they could have taken that would have made them a lot of money, right? But they didn't take anything. They just unhooked all of them, which is more than a one-man job. That's like a two-man job. Like, you'd have to, like, hold it, unhook them, and slowly put it down. But no, it was like that. Had me wrecked, because I was like, I'm out. Die. Like, girl, I'm not about this life. I don't want to die. So, like, we started locking the door after that. Whatever. But, I mean, that freaked me out so much. Because I was like, was someone in my house? Because they were like, someone probably broke in. And I was like, does that mean someone came in our house? Like, maybe some of my stuff is gone. But now, looking back on it, like, that messes me up. That something like that went down. Also in this house, I have noticed lots of things go missing. And not just like, oh, the game lost this. I'm like, huh, whatever. No, like, things go missing. Like, one day you have it, and the next day you don't. Like, I mean, stupid things. would go missing. Like, I mean, there was like a Dora Explorer bowl that went missing. But like these things were like my sister's favorite. Like my little sister, like her Dora Explorer bowl went missing. She had a Dora Explorer like spoon to go with it. She had this like jungle themed bowl with her name written across the bottom of it. It was super cute. And I think she also had a spoon that went with it. All of those went missing. And like, I was just kind of like whatever about it. Like, okay, things are going missing. Whatever, maybe we're just losing them, right? But then I like thought about it. A little, well, I don't know if it was like a boy or a girl, but a infant passed away in the house. And then our baby bowls are being stolen. Like, that makes me extremely uncomfortable. I mean, like, I understand you need to eat, that's your thing, you do you, but like, no. So like, those things were being taken and going missing. And so, I mean, it's not like this haunting's been very loud and abrupt and like, oh my god, like, within the first year I was like, I need out. Like, it was like over a span of time, like slowly things would happen and it was like, whatever, like, you could kind of like, oh, that was probably this, or like, that was probably that, whatever. But, okay, this part like creeps me out. Okay, I'm sitting in my bed, so I'm gonna like pick up my feet, because like, ugh, I'm like messed up actually. So, recently, well, maybe about a year ago, my parents, like my mom and my dad, they had a chance to go to Banff alone. And I mean, I'm old enough to babysit Sydney, so it's whatever. And my brother lives in the same town as us, so like he can just come over and like make sure we're safe and alive. But they had a chance to go to Banff, so they went, and Dean would like come and hang out, and like before we go to bed, he would like check and be like, oh, okay, yeah, like whatever, I'm gonna go to bed, like, love you guys, bye, right? And so Sydney would go to bed and I would just stay up for a bit later, because I was like, that's what mom does, I'm gonna be cool. And I swear to God, once it gets late in this house, everything goes weird and wacky. Like, I was actually wrecked. Like, and it's not like it gets late in the house and like anytime you can get late in the house and you're like, oh my god. Specifically when my mother and father are not home. When no one else is home and it's just me and my little sister, I don't know, the house gives off this like death trap vibe. Like this vibe of like at first I told my mother that I felt like a get out. Like a get out, I don't want you here, like kind of thing. But it's slowly, like, my idea of what it feels like kind of has changed now, but I'm gonna explain that in a bit after I tell you what like happened and why I made this video. So like the house gets like this really uncomfortable feeling, it messes me up, and I had noticed during that week that my parents were gone that when me and Sydney would be upstairs, we could hear stuff move downstairs. Like, we could hear things being moved as if someone was just, like, sliding things across, like, the table or, like, the counter, I guess, or whatever. Right? Like, it sounded like someone was just moving stuff. And so we'd grab, like, our weapons, like, we're like, what's pointy? And I'd, like, grab my eyeliner. Or, like, something, right? Like, I would be like, oh, I got, like, a pencil. It's, like, extra long one now, though. So, like, could jab their eye out, I guess. And then we'd go downstairs, and nothing would be moved, and no one would be down there, and we'd be like, what? No, thank you, sweetheart. No. And so, like, that went on for that week, and then mom and dad came home, and I totally forgot to tell them at first, but I was, like, wrecked, because I was like, thank God you guys are home, because I'm done. Like, I'm not about this life. Because it was a good, like, 4 days where they were gone, and I was just not about that life. Like, I was destroyed and wrecked. So, I mean, that all went down, and, I think the next thing that happened, like major thing that happened, is the thing that happened, I think it was yesterday? No, it was the day before. No, it was yesterday, I think. Okay, so yesterday my brother came over to get my mom to help him with his taxes, because whatever, right? So they were working his taxes and they finished, and so, well, our water tank blew up. Like, it didn't blow up, but, it was, like, spitting out water, so we were like, we have to get rid of it. So, he went with my mom, like, okay, so I was upstairs, I was recording, I was singing, it was my life. I was like, I'm a be Beyonce, it's gonna be good, right? So I was like recording, I was singing Beyonce, my life. Sydney was upstairs in her room watching YouTube videos, and so they didn't tell us they were leaving, they just like left, and they went around, like I could hear them leave though, like I heard them leave and then walk around the house to go look at it. I was like, okay, whatever. And when they came back into the house, they couldn't. My mom went to grab the handle and it didn't open right away. My brother almost crushed her because he was like, oh, she's gonna open the door. So he just kept walking, and then when she didn't, he was like, what the hell? Why didn't you open the door? And she's like, it's locked. And then she was like why did you do that? Because he had his key on him. And he's like, why would I lock it behind me? Like I'm not that cool. I'm too lazy for that. And so like banging on the door, like, unlock it. And Sydney opens the door and runs downstairs, and I up my door, and we both go downstairs, and she unlocks the door, and my brother comes in and he's like, which one of you locked the door? And me and Sydney were like, we were both upstairs. And my brother, he is totally against the whole concept of spirits and ghosts and like all of that. He's like, they're not real. I can't wrap my head around it, so it doesn't exist. And so he was like, maybe the batteries in the door handle are still like on, maybe, and like they just kind of jiggled and like locked it on accident, whatever. And so we opened up the little compartment that holds the batteries. There was no batteries in it. There was no batteries. And I had thought nothing of it when I was upstairs singing, but I heard, like after they had left, I thought I heard Sydney downstairs. And so our house is really old, right? So you can hear when people go up and down the stairs. Like you can hear it when people go up and down the stairs. And I thought Sydney had been downstairs when they left because I heard her walk. It sounded like she walked from like the front foyer where we have like the door into the living room and then back, like she had done one of these, right? And I was like, thought nothing of it, like whatever, because I thought she had done that, and then sat down on the couch. And then when I opened my door and she was upstairs, I was wrecked. And so Dean was like, Sydney did it, had to be her. And so I know I didn't do it. I know Dean didn't do it because he's lazy. He's not going to lock the door and be like, oh, la-di-da. Like, he would have been like, I did it. Because he likes that. And my mom didn't do it because she's also lazy. And she didn't have her key on her. So I was like, me and Sydney went upstairs and I asked her, I was like, did you lock the door? And she was like, honest to God, I didn't do it. Right? And so, like, because I didn't, like, I pulled her off to the side and I was like, did you do it? Because sometimes, like, she'll pull up her ankle and be like, did you do it? And she's like, yeah. But she was like, no, I didn't do it. Did you? And I was like, no. Like, I was messed up. And this is why I'm making the video, because nothing has happened until that. Because, like, they haven't moved anything until that. And so okay, so our family's planning on moving. I'm not going to specify where, but we're planning on moving out of where we're living right now, for work-related stuff. So, like, for my father's work. And so we're planning on moving, and I, honest to God, think that the spirits don't want us to leave. And so that ties in with what I was saying before when I was like, oh, I think they were like, get out, and that was the feeling I was getting. I feel like it now was more like a, I want to keep you safe, but I also want to keep you, right? Like, my mom and my brother left. It was just the two kids. They didn't tell us, and usually my mom locks the door behind her, and she didn't. I think they go lock the door because they're like, you have to keep them safe. You have to keep them here. That messes me up. Like, girl, you have no idea how messed up this is. Like, honestly, I didn't want to make this video because I've heard that if you make videos, then the haunting gets worse and it gets more crazy and wild. But I feel like I had to make this video to prove that I'm not crazy and that things are going down. And yeah, and like I feel like kind of a fraud because everyone's up online like, oh my god, my house is haunted, like, oh my god, and I feel like I'm just trying to like blend in, like hop on that wagon, but I'm not. Like, this has me actually so wrecked. Like, it boggles my mind because, like, if it was my brother, he would have said, he would have been like, yeah, it was me, right? And he would have laughed, and everyone would have laughed, and it would have been whatever. But my brother is so against ghosts that he was, like, trying to figure out a way that it would lock itself. Like, he, like, took off the thing to check the batteries. He was, like, slamming the door to see if that worked. He was lightly shutting the door to see if that worked. Like, he was like, it has to be able to lock by itself somehow, because ghosts just don't make any sense. And so I know it wasn't Cindy, because she would have told me. She would have been like, huh, yeah, it was me. But it wasn't. It wasn't her. And I know I was upstairs singing like Beyonce. I was up here like, la-di-da. And my mom didn't have the key. She didn't have a key, so it wasn't her. So who was it? So, yeah. Kind of messed up. Kind of hurt. Kind of scared to edit this video. Because I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they go to edit it and then creepy stuff is in the background and I'm like, girl, no thank you. Bye, Felicia. No, I'm out. Please, no. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you see anything creepy in the video. Oh my gosh, like I really don't want to edit this now. And I will keep you guys in the loop about what goes down and what's happening. I honestly don't think anything else is gonna happen. So this might be like a one-only kind of video. I might, like, if nothing else happens, I might just, like, in a different video be like, BT dubs, guys, nothing's happening with the ghosts. It's fine. I was just, like, freaking out for no reason. But I will keep you guys in the loop about what's going on. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and comment down below and let me know if you guys want to see anything else like this. If you want spooky videos, like facts or something, like creepy stuff, like hit me up. I'll do creepy videos. So yeah. Thanks for watching and